Knicks Nation. Today is Thursday, the 25th day of April, 2024. I hope this Thursday finds you and your family safe and healthy, and that the needs of you and your family on this Thursday in terms of food, shelter, clothing, as well as health, are being met today. Blessings upon those that work in the healthcare field alongside the first responders every day risking their lives to save lives. Those that pick up garbage, the dirty work of keeping our places clean. Those also that make the humble work of making deliveries of people, food, water, mail for our convenience. Double blessings on the men and women out here trying to do the important and heroic work of saving teenagers and children who are victims of child molestation and pedophilia. People that are also victims of pornography, child pornography, prostitution, child prostitution, human trafficking, sex slavery. Double curses on the perpetrators of these things. Double curses on those who actually profit from these things. And double curses on the perverts that create the demand for these things. Finally, blessings upon the homeless. Nearly 600,000 men, women, and children, families, veterans, homeless in the United States of America, and millions around the world in similar or worse conditions. Blessings upon them, for theirs is the kingdom. There's going to be a basketball game tonight. The New York Knicks are going to be playing the Philadelphia 76ers in Philadelphia. As has been proven this year by the fact that the Knicks have outplayed Philly in virtually every game they've played this year. The Knicks hold the season series lead. The Knicks hold a 2-0 lead in the playoffs and are proven to be the better team. Philly is a good team. And they're going to be scratching, clawing in desperation to win tonight. Because if they lose tonight, virtually over. Okay? So they have to win. They have to win. They have to win bad. Plus, we know Joel Embiid guaranteeing stuff, thinking he Joe Namath or something. But hey, he couldn't even look people in the face to say that. Anyway, the Knicks are going to be ready. Tom Thibodeau going to have his team ready for a scrap. The Villanova crew played in Philly. So they're used to Philly crowd. They know what that's about. Not going to rattle our guys. Nobody's going to get rattled. In fact, this game reminds me of a prize fight. A prize fight in which the one guy is getting his head handed to him by a professional that's sharp, skilled, tactical, right? And the fight's almost over. So the guy getting his head handed to him goes all out. He starts swinging wildly. He's just trying to get some connection for a knockout. And generally, the tactician knocks him out. I think that's where we're at right now with the Philly and the Knicks. All we want is for nobody to get hurt and to come out with this W today. Already, during the course of this series, many of us have noticed Joel Embiid has been getting away with murder in terms of putting elbows on people and tripping on people and falling on people. Of course, they don't remember that. And I like how Tom Thibodeau answered the media about that stupid question with regard to the last 2-minute report. He said, I'd like to see the 46-minute report. Do you know why? Because all game long, they're holding, grabbing, pulling on the jersey of one Jalen Brunson. All game long. And they got the nerve to be worried about the last 2 minutes. Only Tyrese Maxey has some class in that locker room. He's the only one. He shouldn't get down to 2 minutes. It shouldn't get down to that. He's right. But the reason it did is because the Knicks are the better team. I had one deluded knucklehead actually come on my channel and say, it's only one game, Sixers in 5. Can you imagine? I had to explain to him that your team is down 2-0. Mathematically impossible to win in 5 when you're down 2-0. Shows you where everybody is. It's just emblematic of the media and everybody else. They just hate the Knicks so much. They got to be negative. It's got to be Philly that's just messing up. It can't be the Knicks just better beating them like a drum. Anyway, this is the most important game of the season for the Knicks. And I expect them to rise to the occasion. One thing about Tom Thibodeau coach teams that we all know, those of us in Knicks Nation anyway, they ain't quitting. They ain't rolling over. And they ain't scared. Oh, you want to play physical? Okay. That's what happened the last game. See, Philly tried to punch the Knicks in the mouth. That's what happened. And the Knicks took their punch and came back with a harder right cross. Yes, they did. Expect the same tonight. Can't guarantee no victory because this is the league and this is the playoffs. But I can guarantee you this. The Knicks ain't gonna let them just come out and punch us in the mouth like that. It ain't going out like that. And we ain't going out like that. The Knicks are gonna play as if they're down 2-0. But they're gonna be tactical, defensive, rebounding, fighting. This is gonna be good to watch. Enjoy that. But I also wanted to mention today, one Oso Ighodaro. Oso Ighodaro from Marquette. I like this kid. This kid is a poor man's version of Brandon Clark. If y'all remember, Brandon Clark out of Gonzaga went to Memphis. Only thing about Brandon Clark is he's kind of not quite there, but he's kind of applying to the Anthony Ambulance School. But aside from that, in terms of skill level, I love this kid. Not only that, what we need to understand, and I'm not going to try to tell you that he's better, that he's a better player than the boy I mentioned to you the other day when we were talking about, what was the kid's name? Oh, gosh. We were talking about Ryan Dunn from Virginia, 6'8", 216. I'm not saying this boy is better than Ryan Dunn. I'm not. But what we must understand is with the Don, it's not only fit, it's cost. The Knicks this year in the draft, the Knicks have actually 2 number 1 picks. They got the Dallas pick and they got their own pick. Plus, the Knicks do have a second round pick at 38. So the Knicks are in very good position. And now let me just make you a guarantee right here. Raw Hebrew is going to tell you on April 25th. They're not going to use both of those number 1 picks. I can guarantee you that. So they'll probably use the Dallas pick. They may trade their pick for a future pick, but they're not going to use both picks. Okay. Now, this kid, Oso Ighodaro, let's talk about him. Look, he's not a superstar. And that's some of y'all, so, if he's not a superstar, you're not interested. He's not a superstar. What you are looking for in the NBA draft, okay? What you want to do, first of all, especially the Knicks, because they've been showing us this, many of y'all ain't receiving it yet. First thing you want to make sure is that you are drafting an NBA player. I know that sounds silly, right? But not all the guys that are drafted are NBA players. I go back to Jimmer Fredette. He was not an NBA player, but he was drafted, okay? He was not an NBA player. There was the kid Davis out of Wisconsin that went to the the Wizards. Not really an NBA player in my view. The first thing you want to know is that you got an NBA player. Obi Toppin's an NBA player. Emmanuel Quickley's an NBA player. RJ Barrett's an NBA player. Mitchell Robinson's an NBA player. Deuce McBride's an NBA player. What do they have in common? They were drafted by the Knicks. So you want to make sure you have an NBA player. You can criticize their game or whatever. But first thing you want to know is they can play in the NBA. There's a lot of guys that are going to be in this draft that are really not NBA players. And that's the first thing you want to decipher. This is where your Kenny Paynes comes in. This is, I wish we had him now. But these are when these guys come in. They got talent at knowing when they can look at and see an NBA player. So the first thing you want to do is make sure you have one. Second thing you want to do is how much upside, you know already. It's like when you get ready to buy a used car. You already know it's used. You already know there's some issues there, some stories behind it. So you want to get the stories revealed to you so you know exactly what you're dealing with and if you can handle that. You want to see if you got an NBA player. You want to see is there something, obviously he's not a first round pick. He's a second round pick at best. Okay. What does he have? What does he bring to the table? Well, in this kid's case, tremendous athleticism, 6'9", wingspan, exemplary, elite passing ability at 6'9". Elite passing ability at 6'9". Great foot movement. So that's what you're dealing with Oso on the foundational level. Can't shoot. 60-something% from the free throw line. Never shoots a three, so you can forget the 3-point line. I am looking at Brandon Clarke when I see this guy. Brandon Clarke is exactly that. Although Brandon Clarke played at a bigger program with Gonzaga, was a little better, and Brandon Clarke was actually a first-round pick. This guy's a little below that, but similar. Like Brandon Clarke, when he came into the league, operated out of the box, out of the it was like an imaginary triangle. I could see it in the paint, both offensively and defensively. Okay, and he pogo stick, played defense, follow up. This kid that I'm talking about is very similar, except you're going to get him at a second round price. You're not paying no first round money for him. And that's going to appeal to the Don. Question is, how much upside? You're going to be 22 years old. So you're going to be a little older. That works in favor in terms of maturity, works against him in terms of upside. Can he learn how to shoot a little bit? He doesn't have to be Stephen Curry. Can he get into the 70s on his free throws? Can he learn to rebound? I believe he can. What I also like about this boy is his motor. He has an NBA motor, and that's important. For example, Kevin Knox, as you recall, did not possess an NBA motor. Kevin Knox should have stayed at Kentucky 2 more seasons. Now, he got a little bit of money, come out. I can't blame him. But if he wanted a longer NBA career, he should have stayed with John Calipari and Kenny Payne for another 2 years. And he might have developed into something. But his motor was lacking. Oso has a tremendous motor. The kid runs the floor. He runs all day. He keeps running. And this was going to be good for the Knicks. He plays good defense. His wingspan is good. And again, I mentioned elite passer at 6'9". Elite passer at 6'9". So in other words, the ball will not stick with him. It's going to move, and he's going to move. Off ball, he's going to move. He's going to cut. He's going to look back door. He is 6'9", can play the power forward. I am not so sure he can't play the 3 also in a pinch. And, of course, he now at Marquette plays some 5. So I think he can play, at least at a basic NBA level, all 3 positions. He's not a scorer. He's not going to be a walking bucket, as some people like to put it. But he can be a defensive stopper, rebounder, run the floor, glue guy on an NBA level, like Brandon Clarke. That's what I'm looking at. So if you can get him around pick 38, and I think you can get him around pick 38. He's a nice prospect for the Knicks at that pick. Somebody that doesn't have to play right away. He's probably going to be below Jacob Toppin in the G League. And Jacob Toppin, I'm thinking for 2024-25 will be on the active roster for the Knicks. So this guy will be G Leaguing and developing and then coming up as they need him. Another guy that's like Jacob Toppin, although I think Jacob Toppin might be, Jacob Toppin is better right now because he's already in the league. But Oso could develop into that in the short term as well. It wouldn't take 3 years, for him to do that. I would think a year in the G League, and maybe he's ready. Another guy that can come back like a Precious Achiuwa type guy that can fill in off front line. That's what I'm thinking. Because I don't expect Bodega 44 to be back. And of course, Alec Burke ain't going to be back. So you're going to have Precious step up in that role. I expect Precious to come back with a much improved jump shot for next season. Not right now, but for next season. Precious already plays tremendous defense. So you would like somebody in the wings to back up that. So you got Jacob Toppin and maybe this kid Oso Ighodaro. Not only that, great attitude, hard worker. Things intangibles that you need to now fit the Knicks culture. So I like Oso Ighodaro at 6'9" out of Marquette, power forward. He's bigger than Clarke. He's bigger than Jacob Toppin. He is 6'9", 225. He can play a little bit of 5, 4, and I think he can run at the 3 as long as you're not expecting him to shoot. He's not a great shooter, but I don't think that's going to be a problem. Can he develop into a decent shooter? That remains to be seen. That's going to be the question mark. Can he develop? And that's up to the Knicks scouts to tell. I see an NBA player, in terms of motor, passing skills, defense. I see an NBA player. I just want to know, can he give us a little more? Can he get league average from the field as a jump shooter? Can he get 70% from the foul line? He's at 62, okay, but we'll see. But I like Osho Igudaro. Cost-wise, he's going to be much cheaper than anybody that can get in the first round. Now, first round, we're still looking at a few players. We got to take a look at Deron Holmes out of Dayton. We still got to look at Johnny Murphy. Really, he's 6'9", but he's a little bit light in the behind. But we got to look at a couple of these guys, that's still going to be in that late first if the Knicks want somebody. To me, somebody is a late first. I want a youngin. I want somebody that's 19. Somebody that can come play in 2 years once after they're drafted. Yeah, somebody like that. But we'll see if the Don thinks somebody's worthy of that money. Right now, money's an issue because we got to re-sign Precious. We got to re-sign OG Anunoby. And then, of course, you're dealing with the extension, which is not really a problem now, the extension of Jalen Brunson. That's not going to be a problem for next year either. But, we'll see how that works out. But see, there's some money issues, so we'll see. Yeah, we're not looking at really fives. We're looking at fours and threes at this point. And so we'll see what else we can get out there. But for now, I do like Osho Igudaro. Again, he's a cheaper option than the Dunn kid out of Virginia. So we'll see how that works out. But I like him in the second round. Anyway, y'all enjoy the game tonight. Enjoy the game tonight. Enjoy your Thursday. Be safe out there. Shalom.